Hi, everybody. I'm 72 years old. I worked for 38 years as a school librarian. I retired 6 years ago. I never thought I'd be sitting here, wearing a mask, telling this story. But I need to, because if it happened to me, it can happen to anyone. I'm covering my face because I'm ashamed. My children don't know the full story. My neighbors don't know. Only my husband knows, and it nearly broke us. But I'm here today because staying silent only helps the people who did this to me. I lost $84,000. That was our savings, money we put away for emergencies, for medical bills, for helping our grandchildren with college. It took us decades to save that money, and I gave it away. In less than 2 weeks. I thought I was smart. I thought I could never fall for something like this. I've read the articles. I've seen the warnings on TV. I always told myself, I'm too careful, too aware. But that's what they count on. They count on you thinking you're too smart to be fooled. It started on a Tuesday morning in March. I remember because it was trash day, and I had just brought the bins back up the driveway. My phone rang. The caller ID said it was from my bank. It showed the exact name of my bank, the one I've used for 24 years. I answered. A woman's voice, professional, calm. She said, "Good morning, Mrs. Patterson. This is Monica from the fraud department at First National Bank. We've detected some unusual activity on your account, and we need to verify a few transactions with you." My heart jumped a little. Fraud. That word scared me. But I also felt relieved because my bank was calling to protect me. She knew my full name. She knew the last 4 digits of my account. She sounded so professional. She said, "We're showing 3 attempted withdrawals from your savings account. One for $1,800, one for $2,200, and one for $3,100. Did you authorize these transactions?" I said no, absolutely not. I hadn't made any withdrawals. She said, "That's what we thought. Your account has been compromised. Someone has your information, and they're trying to drain your account right now. We've temporarily frozen these transactions, but we need to act quickly." I felt panic rising in my chest. This was my life savings, everything my husband and I had worked for. She said, "I need you to stay calm. We're going to protect your money, but I need you to follow my instructions exactly. Can you do that?" I said yes. Of course, I trusted her completely. She explained that because my account was compromised, the fraudsters had access to my online banking. She said the bank needed to move my money to a secure temporary account, a government-protected holding account, while they investigated. She said, "This is standard protocol for fraud cases over $10,000. We work directly with the Federal Trade Commission. Your money will be safer there, and once we catch the people trying to steal from you, we'll return everything to a new secure account." It sounded reasonable. It sounded official. She asked me to verify my account balance, and I told her $84,216. She said, "Perfect. I'm going to transfer you now to our secure transfer department. His name is David Coleman. He's a senior fraud investigator. He'll walk you through the protection process. Stay on the line." There was a brief hold, maybe 10 seconds. Then a man's voice, deep, confident. He said, "Mrs. Patterson, this is David Coleman with Fraud Investigations. Monica briefed me on your situation. I want you to know you're in good hands. We're going to make sure you don't lose a single penny." He was so reassuring. He spoke slowly, like he had all the time in the world. He said, "Now, because this is a large amount, and because the perpetrators already have your account details, we can't do a standard transfer. We need to use a secure federal transfer system. It's a little more complicated, but it's the only way to guarantee your funds are protected." He explained that I would need to go to my bank, withdraw the money in the form of cashier's checks, and then deposit those checks into the temporary federal account he would provide. He said, "I know it sounds unusual, but this is how we handle high-risk fraud cases. The perpetrators can't touch cashier's checks, and once the checks are in the federal account, they're completely protected by government insurance." I asked him, "Why can't the bank just move the money themselves?" He said, "Great question. The problem is, the people who compromised your account, they're watching your account right now. If we try to move the money through normal channels, they'll intercept it. This way, we move it physically, and they'll never see it coming." It made sense to me. I was scared. I wasn't thinking clearly. All I could think about was protecting that money. He said, "Now, this is very important. When you go to the bank, do not tell the tellers why you're withdrawing the money. The people who compromised your account, they sometimes have inside help. We don't know who we can trust at your local branch. Just tell them you're making a large purchase or that it's personal. Can you do that?" I said yes. He stayed on the phone with me the entire time I got ready to leave the house. He said, "I'm going to stay with you through this whole process. I'll be right here. You're not alone." I drove to the bank. He stayed on the phone. He told me to use my earbuds so I could keep talking to him, hands-free. When I walked into the bank, my hands were shaking. I went to the counter and asked to withdraw $84,000 in cashier's checks. The teller looked surprised. She asked, "Is everything okay? That's a very large amount." David whispered in my ear, "Stay calm. Just say it's for a personal purchase. Don't give details." I said, "It's personal. I'm buying something." She hesitated. She said, "I need to get the manager for an amount this large." David said, "That's fine. Just stick to the story." The manager came over, a younger man, maybe in his 30s. He asked me the same questions. He said, "Mrs. Patterson, I just want to make sure you're aware of scams targeting seniors. Has anyone asked you to withdraw this money and send it somewhere?" My heart raced. David said firmly in my ear, "He's testing you. This is exactly what we warned you about. They're trying to slow us down so the fraudsters can finish draining your account. Be firm." I said, "No, this is my money, and I'd like to withdraw it, please." The manager looked uncomfortable, but he processed the withdrawal. He made me sign several forms. He handed me an envelope with 4 cashier's checks. I walked out of the bank, my entire body trembling. David said, "You did great. I'm so proud of you. Now, we need to get those checks deposited into the secure account as quickly as possible. Every minute counts." He directed me to a different bank, about 20 minutes away. He said this was the bank that managed the federal holding accounts. He gave me an account number, and he told me to deposit the checks using the ATM, not with a teller. He said, "ATMs are more secure for this type of transaction. There's no human error." I did what he said. I deposited all 4 checks into the account he gave me. It took maybe 10 minutes. When I was done, David said, "Perfect. Your money is now completely secure. The federal system will hold it for 72 hours while we complete the investigation. After that, we'll transfer it back to a new account in your name, and you'll have full access. You did everything right." I felt a wave of relief. It was over. My money was safe. He thanked me for my cooperation, and he said someone from the bank would call me in 3 days with next steps. He hung up. I sat in my car in that parking lot, and I felt exhausted. But I also felt proud of myself. I had protected my money. I had outsmarted the criminals. I drove home. I didn't tell my husband right away because I didn't want to worry him. I thought I'd wait until the money was back in a new account, and then I'd explain everything. 3 days passed. No one called. On the 4th day, I tried calling my bank. I asked to speak to Monica in the fraud department. The woman on the phone said, "We don't have anyone named Monica in our fraud department. Can I help you with something?" My stomach dropped. I explained what had happened. There was a long silence. Then she said, "Ma'am, I'm going to transfer you to our actual fraud department. Please hold." I spoke to a fraud specialist, a real one. I told him everything. He listened quietly, and when I finished, he said, "Mrs. Patterson, I'm so sorry, but you've been scammed. The people you spoke to, they weren't from our bank. They spoofed our phone number, and they tricked you into transferring your money to them. The account you deposited into, that was their account." I couldn't breathe. I felt like the floor had disappeared beneath me. I said, "But they knew my account number. They knew my name. They sounded so professional." He said, "They're very good at what they do. They buy stolen information online, and they study how banks operate. I'm sorry, but we need to file a police report immediately." I hung up the phone. I sat at my kitchen table, and I started to cry. I cried for an hour. Then I had to tell my husband. That conversation was the hardest thing I've ever done. He didn't yell. He didn't get angry. He just looked at me, and I saw the devastation in his eyes. He said, "That was everything we had." I know. We filed a police report. We contacted the FBI. We did everything we were supposed to do, but the money was gone. The account I deposited into, it was closed within hours. The money was transferred overseas, broken into smaller amounts, and disappeared. The police told us we'd probably never get it back. For weeks, I couldn't sleep. I kept replaying every moment of those phone calls in my head. How did I not see it? How could I have been so stupid? I felt ashamed. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to see anyone. I felt like everyone would look at me and think, how could she fall for that? But the truth is, these people are professionals. They do this every single day. They know exactly what to say. They know how to make you panic, and then they position themselves as the solution. They sound so real because they've practiced this 1,000 times. I'm not stupid. I'm not careless. I was targeted, and they knew exactly how to manipulate me. My husband and I were rebuilding slowly. He had to come out of retirement and take a part-time job. I'm looking for work too. We've had to change our plans. We can't help our grandkids with college anymore. We can't take the trip we'd been planning for years. We're starting over at an age when we should be relaxing. But I'm here today telling this story because I don't want this to happen to you. Please, listen to me. If someone calls and says they're from your bank, hang up. Even if the caller ID looks right, even if they know your information. Hang up and call your bank back using the number on your bank card or on their official website. Not the number they give you, not the number that called you. If someone tells you your money is in danger and you need to move it immediately, that is a scam. Banks will never ask you to move your own money to protect it. That's not how it works. If someone tells you not to talk to bank employees or not to tell anyone what you're doing, that is a massive red flag. Real fraud investigators want you to ask questions. They want you to verify. And please, slow down. These scammers, they create urgency on purpose. They make you feel like you have to act right now, or you'll lose everything. But that pressure, that's part of the scam. Take a breath. Call a family member. Call a friend. Talk to someone you trust before you make any decisions about your money. I didn't do that. I was alone, and I was scared, and I made a terrible mistake. You don't have to make the same mistake I did. If you're watching this and you recognize anything I've described, stop. Stop right now. It's not too late for you. I'm sharing my face, even though it's covered, because I want you to see that I'm a real person. This really happened. And it can happen to anyone. Please be careful. Please protect yourself. And please, don't be ashamed to ask for help. I wish I had.